I still do have Primeval Titan for Glimmer Post. I still have that. That's not going anywhere.
Now, Vladimir here on your right playing Red Black Burn. He does have some additional tools in this matchup to help out against life gain strategies. He has 2 main deck Skull Cracks, helps quite a bit, and 2 main deck Sulfuric Vortexes. So there's some action here.
Vortex is nice.
So if John has a show and tell start, that's really hard to beat. But if he's planning on casting Primeval Titan on turn 3 or 4, that's going to be too slow.
Well, here's the thing. Having a show and tell start would be really hard to do because he doesn't have it in his deck.
Oh, we usually see show and tell in these strategies.
I know.
Yeah.
He does not actually have it in his deck this weekend, which I'm actually generally surprised about because you always find that card in this deck. It's like a go-to around here. Now, do we want to spoil the fun with the sideboard yet or no?
No, well, we'll keep that.
We'll wait. Okay, all right. We'll keep your hopes high. We'll keep your hopes high.
Del what? Del Valle? Del Valle.
So that is a cloud post that Del Valle is going to look at. He's going to play a mountain. Take a look at that land.
Yeah.
Where do you think this is going?
Oh, it looks like someone might have bought some Fire and Lightning Precon decks.
The old Lava Spike.
Oh, yeah.
Going upstairs to Kassari. So now Kassari knows what he's up against. He better get moving.
So Kassari has a couple very powerful things to do in this matchup, Glimmer Post being one of them, fast Primeval Titan, but he needs to find it fast. He doesn't have that much time, and this deck is, of course, very susceptible to Price of Progress.
Yeah, there's no real messing around here for Kassari. I wonder if this is a good matchup for him. It would be a good matchup if he had Show and Tell in his deck. It would be a joke, actually, I think.
Yeah, if Show and Tell is involved, then it's really easy.
But you could bog. Get that Lava Spike out of here. So that is long gone. Now Kassari will pass the turn back. So Expedition Map the play for the turn. Wouldn't be surprised if that goes and searches up a Glimmer Post. Goblin Guide. Into the red zone we go. Take a look. Gets a crop rotation.
Well, crop rotation plus Expedition Map is really good for Kassari because it allows him to get a lot of Glimmer Posts set up here.
Unfortunately for Del Valle, that's it for the turn. So he needs to find some lands.
He's playing a pretty land-light build, 19 lands. Splashing black, he has 2 bad lands in his deck and a bunch of fetch lands, 4 copies of Bump of the Night. I imagine some sideboard cards. And not really even, just splashing for Bump.
Just going to go get a forest here, Kassari, with Expedition Map, and that'll be the play for the turn. Basically playing against Burn, it's like a time bomb.
Yep.
You gotta kill them before they kill you.
And be mindful of Price of Progress.
Yes.
That's the way to get something stolen from you.
I imagine there are multiples of those.
There are 3.
Yeah. So Kassari just with the forest, passing the turn back over to Del Valle. No land just yet. Gonna attack with Goblin Guide. Pithing Needle, the card here Kassari finds. So Kassari goes down to 13. Del Valle going upstairs with a Rift Bolt. It's on suspend for right now. Kassari gonna cast a crop rotation. Bajuka Bog, I don't need you. I need a card that actually does something. And while Kassari does search through the deck, we'll see what land he wants to get. It could be Vasuva, could be Cloud Post, could be Glimmer Post. Depends on what John wants to get. No need for Bajuka Bog, though.
Yeah, Glimmer Post seems like the land to go get.
Ah, yes, a Dark Depth strategy has been employed here by John. Sounds like somebody's got a Thespian stage. How does Burn stack up against the 2020?
Well, if John is taking some risk here, the Rift Bolt knocks him to 10. So if Vladimir has a mountain, that means Fire Blast plus 2 bolts is lethal.
Okay.
So it's, it's going to be lethal, obviously, very soon, but Vladimir can draw a land and just win this turn.
Rift Bolt went upstairs. Kassari down to 10. Gonna take a look at the Thespian stage. And of course, this combo with Dark Depths means that a 2020 comes in and we'll be attacking next turn, and Del Valle's life total is conveniently at 20. So Kassari did not need to go for Glimmer Post, it looks like, in this game.
But Vladimir still may want to attack here to just force Kassari to tap out.
Absolutely.
Because if he does have Fire Blast plus 2 bolts, that forces the hand here.
No, by looking at the hand, started off with a Lava Spike, some Goblin Guide attacks, and a Rift Bolt, but was not able to find a second land, and I'm not convinced he can do anything about the 2020. You see it's at the ready. Jerry T right there by his Dark Depths.
Yeah, and Kassari giving him the look of like, if you have it, you have it.
Yeah, I'm making this.
Yeah.
This is my plan. I'm going to take a look at Dark Depths now as well, trying to understand the combo. John will show him. And this is what I make with it when I do it.
Yeah.
So there is Thespian Sage. We'll copy Dark Depths. That'll go away. This will come into play. So a quick untap. There's an attack for 20. That's going to do it. So John Kassari is going to win game number 1 here over Vladimir Del Valle. We've got Cloud Post up a game where Red-Black Burn. Seems like a tough matchup for Burn. Not impossible, but definitely seems hard.
It's one of those things where it's just going to test the quality of John's draw. There's not a lot of points of interaction in this matchup. It's basically Glimmer Post is the one thing that's going on here. So, John has to have his draw, but he doesn't have a lot of time to find it. And Vladimir's best hand should be fast enough.
Now, what do you have in your sideboard, my friend?
2 Vexing Suster, 2 Searing Blaze, 2 Smash Smithereens, 2 Surgical Extraction, 3 Ensnaring Bridge, 3 Hellspark Elemental, and a Grim Lavamancer. AKA nothing. Nothing really of note here.
Me either, unfortunately. 1 Rest in Peace, 1 Glacial Chasm, a Gaddock Teague, a Tabernacle of Pendrel Vale, 1 Savannah, 3 Thorn of Amethyst, 1 Oblivion Ring, 2 Sacred Grounds, and 4 mystery cards I'd prefer not to tell you.
Oh.
Because I want you to continue to enjoy this match and want to continue to do the show. So I will not mention the 4 Leyline Sanctities that you cannot possibly beat under any circumstance ever.
Well, hold on.
I will hold.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Okay.
All right, Goblin Guide, Eidolon, Grim Lavamancer, those are still fine.
I am at 18, 16, 11.
Price of Progress, doesn't target.
7.
Sulfuric Vortex. That's an implied infinite damage over an infinite timeline.
Right. Okay.
That card's really hard to beat.
It looks like John doesn't want to lose to Burn. That's what it looks like. How quickly do you concede to Leyline of Sanctity?
Pretty fast. I've conceded on turn 0 sometimes.
That boy. Now that's what I like to see.
The problem in the modern version of Burn, you can just concede. That's fine. Just let it go.
Okay.
The problem is in Legacy, you have like Vortexes, Price of Progress, and Flame Rift. So it's like, all right, I got a little something going on here. I think I played a match where at the Invitational in Jersey last year where Drew 11 turn 0 leylined me, and I got him to like 8 or something.
That's like almost a win.
Yeah, it was like a semi-competitive game.
I think if they have a ley line against Burn, you should only have to get them to 10. What do you think?
That's a fine rule. I think that's fair.
I think you should only have to get them halfway home. We'll see if we can talk to the powers that be in Renton, Washington. Get that rule instigated for you.
Right.
No guarantees, of course.
No guarantees.
But I'll see what we can do.
At least fight fair. You know what I'm saying? Just fight fair.
It feels fair.
Maybe
I'm wrong.
That is the charm of Legacy. It is all about asymmetrical warfare. There's some decks, Delvers and Stoneforge Mystic decks that play kind of a normal game. There's still some things that hose you. The extreme decks of the format, we see Elves, this busted turn 2.5 combo deck. Elish Norn gets reanimated to it. You can't even play the game. And now we might be seeing something very similar.
I think it's likely that will occur.
Elish Norn is harder for Elves to beat than Leyline is for Burn, but we're both close to pretty close to 0%.
Well, I'll tell you, one place that you can play Leyline of Sanctity as much as you want, SCG game night.
Fight fair.
Yeah.
It's
not serious here.
Every Wednesday night, starting in September, 2 pins, 8 foils each week to give out. We're going to have new pins and foils coming out. You see that fluffy little guy over there hanging out. That's going to be the September token and pin. Storage, you have the full discretion to run this however you want to, whether it's sanctioned, unsanctioned, whatever format you want. It's your choice. And you can manage applying for this the same way that you manage all your other organized play through Star City Games. Star City wanted to bring some more grassroots, casual focus organized play to the local stores, and game night coming in September will do just that.
Game number 2 here between 12 Post and Burn will be underway, and this is why I love Legacy, because I can say 12 Post and Burn.
And Vladimir has dodged the first bullet, which is John not just leylining him. And given, Vladimir's read some cards so far, I hope he doesn't have to read that one.
I'm there with you on that one. There's a Goblin Guide. In for 2 we go. It's an Expedition map. Not so bad.
Yep.
Kassari will draw that map. There's a Forest. This is a Zenith. That's going to go get a Dryad Arbor. 2 of those in Kassari's deck list. So using Zenith to be able to search for Dryad Arbors. Also has an Oracle of Moldiah, 4 copies of Primeval Titan. Also has a Gaddock Teague on the sideboard too. Teague can win matches on its own.
Any copies of Corsair Crewfix?
None.
That is tough. That's tough on the Burn deck too.
Has not adopted that from Jerry T like we saw at the Invitational. Give it time though. Give it time. I suppose that is pretty tough for the old burn deck.
It is. That's the funny thing about red in Magic's history. Blue and black are the most busted colors by far. Red's usually pretty good against them. And then Magic's honest colors, red is really bad against the green and white cards.
Into the north, the card revealed here from the Goblin Guides. Del Valle is going to deal 4 more points of damage. Doesn't look like Kassari has any interest in blocking here.
You're the only one fighting for justice in the world, you know what I mean?
I understand.
It's pure Robin Hood stuff on who wins and who loses, you know?
Here is an Into the North. Kassari seems like he's off to a slow start this game.
Yeah, Del Valle stuck on 1 land again, but you have to imagine if he rips a land here on turn 2, it might, I mean, this is, again, potentially looking at lethal next turn. It's not impossible.
All right, Kassari's start may not be as slow as I thought. Gonna search up Dark Depths, which is a snow-covered land. A fun little interaction from old Cold Snap. Remember drafting that set?
Once or twice. It was the only set I ever drafted where after I was done with the first one, I said, never again.
Savannah to follow up. By still having difficulty finding lands.
Yep.
Gonna attack here for 4, triggers. Expedition map. I can search for Thespian Stage. Even though there is a likelihood here that there could be a crop rotation. Yep. There is the crop rotation. So that's gonna go search for Thespian Stage, I imagine. Dry Rubber's gonna bite the dust. Now it's time to go search for the ability to make a 2020, and John's deck does this quite well, obviously.
This maybe is too slow still.
No, very realistic that it is too slow.
I mean, if John spends his entire turn next turn making a 2020, one of the Goblin Guides connects, you had to assume there's some sort of lightning bolt coming at the end of Kassari's turn.
So now the other trigger here from Goblin Guide. Good mechanics there from John. Now Thorn and Amethyst.
Uh-oh.
Is that one good against you?
Against someone stuck on 1 land, that card's pretty good. John still may not be able to slow play this. He may just have to do his thing next turn.
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
though.
I agree. Here's a Chain Lightning going upstairs. Kassari down to 7. And John may not be able to take the time to cast this Thorn. He may just have to have the 2020 out here. Vesuva's going to copy something. And it looks like he's going to just make the 2020 right now.
Yeah. If you got a land that came into play untapped, he could have played, he may have been able to play Thorn plus made a 2020 this turn, which is a lock. Now it's...
You saw the way Del Valle drew that card. He was just hoping to draw a land, and he did for once.
Oh, this has...
Jeez.
I had to imagine this is lethal.
I didn't think so.
Can't imagine the combination of cards here that Vladimir has in his hand that does not kill John from this spot.
About time he drew a second land. Yeah, you know, 2 bolts. 2 bolts, we get it. And 2 bolts and the Goblin Guide getting through. That gets it done. Bolt and a Fire Blast. You have to imagine there's a combination of cards that does it.
Yeah.
In we go. Triggers. Green Sun Zenith. That's going to die. Kassari goes down to 5. Well, Del Valle, it's now or never. And it looks like a Chain Lightning to 2 and a Lightning Bolt. So it is now, as we do head to our 3rd game here between John Kassari and Vladimir Del Valle. Red Blackburn and Cloudpost are tied up.
And the Merit Lage plan is something that Vladimir can race. If he goes against Primeval Titan and gets Glimmer Post, that's much more challenging. But John's hands that are just crop rotating and setting up for a turn 3 Merit Lage, Vladimir's good hands are going to beat that.
Well, if you are just joining us here, it is Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan. Star Stadium's Open Series is round number 4 of our Legacy Open at SCG Live, hashtag SCGVEGAS. For your tweets, we got to give a shout out really quick.
My man, my brother from another mother.
Absolutely.
Adrian Sullivan. A labor of love, that blue-white deck. And now in the elimination rounds of Grand Prix Chicago.
Congratulations to Adrian. What this means is that he's back on the Pro Tour after a long way away.
Yeah, very well deserved. And, you know, I started reading Adrian's writing on the dojo when I was in high school. Went to that website enough that it got firewalled at my high school. you know, a deck builder, someone I've learned so much from, both in conversations and his writing. One of my best friends in Magic, someone I've learned a lot from outside of the game as well. I'm really happy for him.
Did you get a stern talking to by the principal?
No, I don't know if they could track it because Anand Kare, who's a high school friend of mine and also a Grand Prix and SCG competitor, also is on that website regularly. Adrian, in fact, last week in Columbus gave me one of his old thedojo.com t-shirts, which is, for someone who reveres Magic history like I do, that's just, it's priceless what that is worth. So good on him.
It's a long time coming.
It is. It's been so long. And Adrian works hard. I think he's actually underrated, if anything, at this point.
Yeah, actually, what makes me happy is that he's just back playing again. He was kind of writing for a while, and his writing is fantastic, but he just didn't have the time to really play very much. But he is definitely back to just playing a lot.
Yeah.
Traveling a lot of weekends, just getting his battle on.
Especially in a city like Chicago, which I'm sure has a lot of Magic roots for Adrian.
He loves Chicago. He really does. I know he's a Madison guy through and through, but he loves Chicago. It's pretty hard not to love Chicago, truth be told. It's a great city.
I enjoyed it when I was out there.
It's a great city.
I did go out there in January, and it was a little too brisk for me.
Well, it gets a little cold in the winter.
But it is a great town. Great food, and cares about sports. Those are my two prerequisites for enjoying a town, I think. San Diego's halfway there, but the weather counts for a lot.
Do they have great food?
They do, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Their sports teams are horrible.
The fans are not great.
Yeah.
Hard to know. It's a chicken and egg sort of thing, you know. Well, the Chargers game, we're getting blacked out even during Tomlinson's prime, so it's probably more an issue of the fans.
Maybe it's the fans, maybe.
Maybe it's the fans.
A transcendent running back can't do it.
Yeah.
So what can?
Most high-powered offense, perhaps in NFL history. I can't be bothered. Just gonna go to the beach and surf. Can't blame you. The weather's insane at all times. So, you know, whatever.
Kassari's happy. No, wow, no ley line again.
Vladimir does not know the bullets he is dodging.
Yeah, do you think it's almost worth mulliganing towards ley line in this matchup?
It's not a bad idea. It depends how good John's hand is, of course, but ley line is pretty close to a lock.
Yeah, his hand had better be awesome if he's not mulliganing for ley line, in my opinion. Let's see what this is going to be. Maybe another Into the North, yeah. See if he's going to search for Dark Depths. Into the North is a really sweet ramp spell.
Yep.
I always really like this card, just from a design standpoint. It's really cool. He's going to search for a forest instead.
So what does the second forest mean? Are we on some sort of hard cast Primeval Titan plan, potentially?
Could be on the Titan strategy this go around. He can, I mean, he can still cobble together Dark Depths plus Thespian Stage next turn.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. Just going to pass the turn back. And again, if he casts Primeval Titan, I think the game just ends immediately. Here comes Goblin Guide. Trigger. Bum, bum, bum. Pretty far away from casting that one, though.
Well, Vladimir can defeat Primeval Titan because he has 2 main deck copies of Skullcrack. He can Skullcrack the trigger, untap, and win the game.
All right, all right.
So, unlikely? Yes. Impossible? No.
Does have outs. That's all you can really ask for, right? There's a Chain Lightning. We're going upstairs. Excuse me, that is a Rift Bolt. They look the same.
Yeah. And they're pretty close in functionality.
Yeah. Especially in this matchup, that's for sure.
Vladimir on 1 land again.
Kassari going to play a Cloud Post. Just going to pass the turn back. I have to imagine a Titan's coming to town next turn.
And if Vladimir is without Skullcrack, that should be good enough. But if he does have it, John's probably in trouble.
Goblin Guide's a pretty safe place to start.
I like watching this game, kind of being in Vladimir's seat, thinking, I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but I'm just going to do my thing. You can tell me if I'm dead or not.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to do what I do, you do what you do, and we'll see how the cookie crumbles.
You do you, right?
Bloodstained Mire. Going to put Vladimir down to 19. See if it's going to be a bad lands or just a mountain, and it will be a mountain. Imagine some things are going to go upstairs here in just a moment. So it is a bump in the nights. Down to 8.
A jab,
Yep.
a right cross.
There it is. There it is. Yep. Bolt. Excuse me. Lava Spike gonna put him down to 5. Might as well be a Bolt. There's a Forest. There's Titan. There's Prime Time. Yeah, Glimmer Post number 1. Looked like a Cloud Post for a second there, but that's Glimmer Post number 1. You gotta imagine this can be Glimmer Post number 2. This will be plus 8 life.
Yep.
Is this what we call a haymaker?
This is yeah. That's a haymaker.
Okay. Maybe a tiger uppercut?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your opponent suddenly having laser beams and disintegrating you. You're no longer fighting on the same axis
Ah,
anymore.
sure. We're playing a different game.
It's a different game.
Okay.
Thought it was a boxing match. It's actually a laser fight.
I think that Vladimir is finally realizing what is taking place here.
Yes.
Which is it's hard to win now. John saying, I have 4 locusts in play. I do this twice. I gain 8. And now my Cloud Post tap for more. You know what that is? It's good deck building.
That's good deck building.
Yeah.
That's some synergies right there.
So Cloud Post will tap for 4 now. So Kassari's mana, he's got a ton of it. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Just when he untaps, and Titan can add more to that.
So,
Yes.
I don't know if Vladimir has the hand that capable of doing this, but there is a land, 3 bolts, and a fire blast. That is 13. So still not inconceivable.
If anybody would know, it would be you.
I've done the math a few times.
Yeah, you've had to do the math a lot in your life when playing Burn, haven't you?
Yes. All right, there's the land.
You're excited. You guys can't see it.
Come on.
Patrick is excited.
Come on, Vlad.
Bolt is what's it called? Is Pop good here?
Pop's a lot. That's 8. Pop's 8. It still requires a bolt and fire blast.
Okay. So there's a combination of cards. It doesn't need to be 4, it can only be 3.
Although what can happen here if Vladimir gets tricky is allow John to attack, let him tighten up some posts, and in response to the trigger, price of progress.
Oh my. The angles. Oh, the angles. You do see them all. I think that crop rotation in Kassari's hand might make things a little
That
bit.
might lock it up.
Yeah.
There's a crop rotation. I don't know if Vladimir can win anymore.
The ability to gain 5 life at instant speed seems like it would be difficult to beat.
And in fact, I think John probably should have main phased it, in fact, because it's a lock if he gains the 5 life there. And there's some risk of him, having to respond with the crop rotation. But looks like he's pretty safely in control now. Although, if in response, this could still be, if Vladimir had Skullcrack here, he would still potentially be playing the game. I don't know if he does.
I had a feeling we might see a game like this. It just seems too likely. Primeval Titan is just so good against the burn decks. Gonna fire away a price of progress here. That's a 10 ball. 10's a lot.
Okay. Making a game of it, still hanging around here.
There's a crop rotation in response. I think that's gonna go get either of a Suva or a Glimmer Void.
So if he games 6 and goes to 16, then he takes.
Oh,
Never mind.
ugh. That's a Glacial Chasm.
Ugh.
Gonna have to take a look at that one too.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
Yeah. From the Vault Edition. When it comes into play, you have to sacrifice a land. And that Primeval Titan can attack in theory. But the important part is the last line of text. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. Kassari says, I will sacrifice this Glimmer Post. And yep, that is going to do it. John Kassari is going to win this match over Vladimir Delbir. 2-1. Cloud Post moves on to 4-0. We've seen Kassari do this with this deck before.
And you know, John got the draws that game that match that Vladimir can beat. Stalled on land all 3 games, but he did have a shot in those games because John didn't have his best openings.
Yeah, those games were much more competitive than I expected them to be, honestly, especially for a deck that has 4 copies of Leyline of Sanctity in the sideboard. I expected those games to be laughers.
Sure. No, well, John never had Leyline. It would have been a laugher if he ever had it.
Yeah, I mean, I could have seen him maybe aggressively mulliganing to it. Like, I didn't expect to see a competitive matchup. Once I saw what the matchup was going to be, you know, I just looking at this matchup, okay, Kassari's probably going to win 2-0, and it will be a laugher, and I get to just kind of make fun of you and your burn deck. But we actually got games.
2 Skullcrack, 2 Sulfuric Vortex gives him a shot. I
Yeah.
mean, John has 2 angles of attack here. He can go make a Merit Lage. That's going to be too slow in a lot of games. Yeah. Or he can try to gain a bunch of life and win incidentally. And the anti-life gain effects in Vladimir's deck give him a shot. So even though on paper it looks like a laugher, there's some tools here, and Vladimir does not have a lot of, John rather does not have a lot of time. That's the most critical thing. Vladimir's threatening a turn, you know, let's 3.5 kill. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of cards in John's deck that don't really do anything. So even though the matchup looks bad, I do not think it's that unfavorable for Vladimir, though I would definitely rather be in John's seat in the matchup.
Yeah, I definitely want to be in John's seat as well.